Restore Abba carrying now Northern Groups won. On Sunday, the coalition of Northern Group met some Northern civil society organizations, including students' union bodies from the 19 northern states and Abuja, over the disturbing insecurity occasioned by kidnapping, banditry, and other related crimes ravaging the region. The various groups at Pali held at the Arawa House, Kaduna, also touched on the embattled Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, and Rawat Abbas, also known as Hush Puppy Saga, and warned against not following due process in handling the matter. According to groups numbering over 50, the sundry kidnappings of school children by bandits leading to the closure of schools in the north is unacceptable. The ongoing Independent National Electoral Commission's voters registration, they also argued was against Northern interest owing to the stringent registration process, while calling Northerners to discard their apathy towards the registration exercise. Okay. Signatories of the communique issued shortly after the meeting are those of Communique Drafting Committee's Chairman Abdulaziz Suleiman, who is also CNG spokesman, and others. They demanded a review of the suspension of Mr. Kyari and an immediate reversal to proper administrative procedures relating to discipline. On insecurity, they decried the potential threat to educational accessibility and affordability to children of the majority poor posed by incessant hikes in tuition in several states across the region. Concerned about the deteriorating security situation and other threats to education and personal integrity and liberty of eminent Northerners, a joint parley of civil society organizations and non-governmental organizations drawn from the 19 states of the North held a round table with officials of all state coordinators and students' wing of the coalition of Northern groups. The roundtable specifically placed premium on the negative impact of the general and pervasive insecurity on the educational potential of the northern region, with the widespread and indiscriminate forced closure of schools and distortions to the academic calendar. It also noted the attempts by some state governments to commercialize or outright sell some institutions of learning at the expense of the region's educational pursuit. They added on the INEC's voters registration. They noted that weekly statistics released by the Independent National Electoral Commission shows the North is lagging by a wide margin in the ongoing voters registration and validation exercise. They also noted that the apathy by Northerners is a direct result of the steady loss of confidence in governance caused by the disappointment by leaders they toiled hard to elect, particularly from 2015. It was also noted that the new stringent procedure for registration operated by INEC is both unfavorable and monotonous for most northern communities in the absence of adequate voter education and sensitization. An element of sabotage that involves deliberately making access to the official registration server difficult or outright impossible was also observed. Well, I mean, with INEC, we already know that's a whole different story, and that's for them to sort out. Listen, it is not like they don't know what to do. They understand how things work, especially in other countries that are more developed than Nigeria's. There are so many innovative ways to vote and make sure that the voting is efficient and fair as well as free. When it comes to the Abba Kyari situation, restore Bakari now, that is what they say. So what do you mean by that? Because you're not even in any position to change the outcome of what happens. So it's not like, okay, what makes you think you have the right to then say or ask or even demand for the restoration and a review of the suspension of Mr. Kyari, that he should not be suspended? That, of course, is a bad look. The suspension does not mean he's fired. The suspension is just like a temporary sack, basically. And it can all be reversed depending on how the trial actually goes, in which with the way that the government is defending him, the way the government or the police is actually being very much slow about replying to the FBI, it does come across as though they're trying to defend someone that is guilty. It comes across that way. You need to be confident. Just go there, prove yourself, and if not, fine. Listen, that's just what it is. That is just what it is. So yeah, CNG, you're demanding for a review of the suspension of Mr. Kyari. Excuse me. What? We ignore that. Really and truly, we actually do. So yeah, I guess that's what it is. In fact, if anything, right now, their main focus should be on the insecurity situation when it comes to the children, because it's just very confusing as to how you're worrying about a situation that has nothing to do with you. Your children are literally living in bad environments. I mean, subjected to just abject poverty. Everything is bad, and then you divert your attention and want to advise the government on what they should do. Do what you need to do in your own state and be of a useful impact. So they will not see that, okay, fine, we have all this and yet all these bad things still happen. It's sad. So yeah, the CNG, we are actually collection of other groups. In the grand scheme of things, are not relevant, but in their environment, they are very much relevant as just education and in terms of morally being a public figure of guidance and pastoralism and all that. You need to educate your people, educate the people that you are serving, tell them about the fact that they need to vote properly and for the fact that the vote actually matters, because all this seems very much sketchy. So yeah, I guess that's what it is. And northern groups won again. We ignore them. Unfortunately, the kind of government that we have, they give relevance and they give importance to how do I even say it, to irrelevant groups, and then their importance then is magnified, and then for some reason a group that had no attention, had no clout before, was not heard of, all of a sudden has the attention. Everyone wants to listen to them, and it's just like, excuse me, that is just too much of a drastic change, which is not their fault. It is the fault of the actual leader, the father, because they will make whoever they want to make relevant, and for their own gain, they will do that. So yeah, put what you think about this in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.